As I gaze into my ball, I predict it's Baggy Hi-Fi time. Greetings, cats and kittens. Welcome once again to Baggy Hi-Fi, this YouTube channel devoted to record collecting and the vinyl community here in the UK. This is recent vinyl finds, gems and corkers. These records date between 1968 and 2025, so quite a varied selection of records that have come into Baggy Hi-Fi headquarters recently. This first one is from the compilation of the singles by the I think they were London band Loop, and this is The World in Your Eyes. Now Loop were around the same time as Spacemen 3, and I think probably influenced by them. So that influence in the 80s of the Stooges, psychedelia, the band Suicide, that repetitive kind of psychedelic sound. And as I say, this is a compilation of their singles, which I do remember with quite a bit of fondness for being really powerful. I was a bit disappointed listening to this, so many years later. It's on Situation 2 Records, and maybe it's depressing, maybe it's just, with hindsight, they weren't quite as exciting as they seemed at the time. I do remember the single Spinning, which is on here, and 16 Dreams. Head On is also on here. Deep Hits, I'll Take You There. Yeah, so it is a bit, very much kind of Spaceman 3 vein, pretty heavy pounding, psych influenced workouts. Maybe I'll give this another chance. Maybe it just wasn't the right day, but that's Loop and The World in Your Eyes. Now, back to the 60s now, and sort of gentle psychedelia, I would say, maybe Baroque pop, Psych Pop, with touches of country. The band Honeybus, long been a favourite of mine. And sometimes when I speak about, bands that are compiled on collections like Rubble, of UK pop psych bands from the 60s, often, I always say, they should have been big, they should have had a hit, maybe just fate was against them, but not really in the case of Honeybus, because they did have a big hit. I think it was a number 8 hit in the pop charts of the UK back in the 60s, 1968. I Can't Let Maggie Go, and it was probably helped because that song was on an advert for Nimble Bread. So let's just take a look. She flies like a bird in the sky. She flies like a bird, and I wish that she was mine. She flies like a bird, only on I see her fly.
Nimble. Real bread, but lighter. Make it part of your calorie control diet.
Yeah, so that hit for Honeybus is on this collection, which I've shown before. Honeybus, the singles, 1967 to 1970. Also, some great songs on here. Do I Figure in Your Life, Girl of Independent Means, Delighted to See You. A band I really like. They are, as I said, sort of in the gentle psych vein, maybe sort of recalling also bands at the turn of the 70s like Badfinger and Marmalade, perhaps, as a comparison. So I've been really waiting for a reissue of their Soul album. That one I just showed is a best of singles, and I heard that the Spanish label Hanky Panky were going to put out the long lost album that Honeybus made, Story. So this has just come out, and it's an album from 1970. The hype sticker says, in March 1968, I Can't Let Maggie Go, the third Honeybus single to hit single hit number 8 in the UK and became a huge hit worldwide. So you international folks should know Honeybus too. But by summer 1960, the band had virtually called it a day. However, the group completed an album's worth of new material, and the album called Story was eventually released without much promotion in March 1970. So this was kind of missed out at the time, but it is a corker. There are some lovely tunes on here, including Black Morning Band, Fresher Than the Sweetness in Water, Under the Silent Tree. I'm going to do a needle drop of that. Yeah, it's very, very kind of a melancholy streak that runs through this music as well. And a good songwriting team of the band. I think all three wrote. So that's Story by Honeybus, reissued now with interesting liner notes of the story of the band. So an essential release, I would say, and a certified corker. Now, many a time in these videos I've showed albums from the Rubble collection put out by Bam Caruso that began in the 80s of UK psych and pop psych and freakbeat. Really a series that changed my life, or at least my listening area of listening. And I'm short now, I think, of about 3 in the multi-volume Rubble collection. The later ones are a little bit harder to find because I think they weren't selling as well as the earlier ones. And the other disadvantage of the later ones is that the early ones used to have a booklet with info about these obscure UK psych bands. But I got this one, which is one of the later ones. Well, relatively later. It's Rubble 16, Glass Orchid Aftermath. So the notes about the bands are on the back here rather than in an insert. It's on Bam Caruso. There we are. Nice label put together by Phil Smee. So this came out in 1991. Collection of bands who include the Fleur de Lis, St Valentine's Day Massacre, Ace Kefford's Stand, the Remo 4. Pretty Things have a track on here, Grey Skies. Really fantastic pop psych tune, Butchers and Bakers by the Staccatos. Check that one out. But the needle drop I'm going to do is by Gary Walker and the Rain. And Gary Walker was a member of the Walker Brothers along with Scott Walker, but he felt that he wasn't prominent enough because he was the drummer in the Walker Brothers, you know, the band that had so many hits, Make It Easy on Yourself, My Ship Is Coming In, etc. So he had a sideline band called Gary Walker and the Rain, and this needle drop I'm going to do is Francis, which is a real freak beat gem. So over now to listen to our needle drops.
Silent tree, it all comes back to
guess it wouldn't be a Baggy Hi-Fi video without at least some mention of the Canterbury scene and the Canterbury sound. I was really impressed with the reissue by Esoteric Records of Kevin Ayers' first album, Joy of a Toy. So I thought I'd invest in this reissue of the wonderful Whatever She Brings We Sing album. Nice hippy-dippy gatefold there. I was always intrigued by this cover art of these babies coming out of eggs. Any Kevin Ayers album really is a funny kind of not very cohesive collection of songs, which some of which are pretty out there workouts, almost, you know, soft machiney avant-garde-ness, and that's because of course Kevin was in the soft machine and used to on his solo albums bring along players such as Robert Wyatt, who is on here, David Bedford on keyboards, Didier Malherbe from Gong is on here too. But yeah, so a mixture of those kind of soft machiney kind of Canterbury whimsy, experimentation, and quite jokey tunes. He was Kevin Ayers, wasn't he? And his laconic singing style, irresistible. This is another corker, and Esoteric have done a really nice job on it, and the label sort of references the Harvest, original Harvest colouring scheme. Okay, more 60s UK pop psych now with the band The Orange Bicycle. I had a CD by this band in the vein really of, yeah, Baroque pop, Beatlesque, I guess, at some points, definitely psychedelic. This is a collection on the excellent Secret Records label from the UK. This is The Orange Bicycle, the singles, Hyacinth Threads. Not a bad track on it. Lots of harpsichords and harmonies. Lovely Baroque psych pop. And this one also has some info on the band and also a list of the issues that Secret Records, albums that Secret Records have put out, including a reissue of Pussy Plays, The Smoke, It's Smoke Time, Fickle Pickles album, Pluto, Journey's End, it's sort of proto-prog, the Magic Mixture album, and yeah, the latest one is, according to this, this Orange Bicycle compilation. Now moving finally to 2025. Now I get the email mailings from the record shop Crypt of the Wizard, which I think is in North London. They mainly put out sort of experimental metal and also dungeon synth records. This one doesn't really fit into that category at all, and it really took my fancy. It's by, I don't know whether you could call them a band really, more like a solo project called Ginger Wizard from Prague in the Czech Republic. And there's the Ginger Wizard himself. The album is called The Curious Flora and Fauna of the Ancient World. It's on Crypt of the Wizard label. And all songs composed and instruments recorded by Ginger Wizard except for flutes and duduk on the tracks Molly and Styrax, and Argos track, bongos on here as well. So you can have a hint here that this is kind of an odd mixture of instrumental prog, but not really virtuoso kind of prog. It's more atmospheric, and I think there's an influence of Kosmischer krautrock on here as well. But the story is that Ginger Wizard found a copy of Bo Hansen's Lord of the Rings album, which is from the early 70s, and was very influenced by it. You can hear echoes of that in here. Kind of nice keyboard, almost Vox kind of keyboard sound, and moody drumming, bass guitar. All of the tracks though, this is really interesting, are about the curious flora and fauna of the ancient world, because Ginger Wizard seems to be a bit of a bit of a history buff. And so this is the booklet that you get with it. And for example, they're going to do a needle drop of the song, the tune Silphium. It's about a herb that was used in cooking and medicine, an extremely prized commodity in the Roman Empire. Other bits of flowers and plants. The plant Salacanthos would bring you good health and victory. Styrax, also connected with legends in ancient literature as well about these fish. Are they fish? No, I think they are. Yeah, sea creatures. And the winged snake of Arabia. So interesting subject matter. I do recommend this. Go over to the website of Crypt of the Wizard if you want to track down a copy of Ginger Wizard's Curious Flora and Fauna of the Ancient World. So that's it for this video of Baggy Hi-Fi. Ta-ta for now, and see you in the next video.